Hi, so this reading is for the Divine Masculine. You know what? As I was shuffling these cards, I have a reading. I just did twin flame reading about maybe an hour ago, and I shuffled this card and I'm shuffling them. And as I was shuffling, um, I was just guided to just do it with you guys on camera. Normally with this, like I pre-shuffle, but the cards that are coming off are almost like confirming um, the twin flame reading I just kind of did. So if you want, guys, go to the twin flame reading. If you're in a twin flame journey, check out the twin flame reading. Okay. All right. Spirit, give me one more card from here. Oh, if I want it to come out, I'll take them. Okay. Okay. So this reading is for the Divine Masculine, okay? It's a Divine Masculine reading. Spirit, give me 4 more cards. Guys, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload new readings. Alright. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna put this closer so you guys can see. Alright, so Divine Masculine. This reading is for the Divine Masculine. Whew. And I do see here that the Divine Masculine could be very closed off with the cynical and closed off here. He is closed off to this journey, closed off to the divine connection, to a divine connection. Right now, I think the Divine Masculine could actually be focused on pregnancy. There is a bump in the road. This came up in the twin flame reading. Bump in the road, pregnancy, miscarriage. That came out in the reverse in the twin flame reading. So maybe this holiday season, the Divine Masculine might be trying to have a baby with a comic, or the comic wants a baby, or they both want a baby, or one of them wants a baby. But there will be a bump in the road. They could fall pregnant. Okay, so just be aware of that. That's in the upright. So definitely, because now in the twin flame reading, it was in the reverse, and I say they are trying. They may not be yet. But in this reading with the Divine Masculine, what this is telling me is that they are trying to definitely be pregnant. The Divine Masculine is desiring a baby. Divine Masculine is probably somebody that loves children, okay? You know, people think just because a man, some men, let me put it that way, don't like child support and stuff like that. This situation is a totally different situation, because it looks like the Divine Masculine is okay where he is at. He feels as though he has arrived, but even though he has not arrived yet, because he is with the comic soulmate. But in this moment, he is feeling great, okay? So he wants a child with a comic. Whether the comic wants a child or not, I am not picking up on this. I am picking up more on the Divine Masculine. So the Divine Masculine is closed off to anything such as soul ties and things like that. They are more focused on what they can create with the comic right now. And I know that a lot of us Divine Feminines, this is not what we want to hear, but we have to practice acceptance, okay? We have to accept things as they are, because there is no mistake with spirit. So you may be desiring to have a child with this divine comic, okay? We have seduced in the reverse. Lost, not love in the reverse. So the Divine Masculine might actually have love for the comic, because he feels as though this is home, but that's where the root awakening is going to come from, because that journey is gonna wake him up, and then that's when he's gonna see that this was a lesson. But he cannot learn a lesson if there was no lesson. You get it? So if he was not invested, right? If he was not invested, then how can the lesson be learned? He has to be fully invested in this. Take a vacation or break. That's in the reverse. So what this tells me is they are really trying hard to create, but maybe they are failing to create exactly what it is that they want to create. Whether it's a baby, whether it's a business, there is something that is not taking off, or something that is not getting off the ground, because it is not what can I say, it is not working. What something is not working out in this situation. They are trying to produce something, but you can, let me tell you something. When you are not in a place where you believe you can manifest anything, and you're not in the right place at the right time, some things are not going to be happening, because it's not where you are supposed to produce those things. Okay, that time, divine masculine knows he is capable of having whatever he desires, but it's just not happening because he is not in the right place and in the right time to get those things and keep them. Have you ever seen, I don't know if it has happened to you in your journey, in this divine journey, or in your dark night of the soul, when you were going through trials and tribulations, things would look so great, and then you either lose things, or things happen, you hit rock bottom. Just unfortunate things, right? It's like you get it, but you can't keep it, because you are not yet a steward of what spirit has to give. Sometimes we are trying to get to that place, and we are tested with those things that we have asked for, but then we are not in a capacity or have the ability to actually keep those things. So then we fail, and then we say, oh, we fail, right? We failed and we fell. You fall, but then you get up and you continue to do it. But as long as the lessons have not been learned, you cannot keep what you've been given. Okay, so that's why the divine masculine cannot be with the divine feminine in this moment. Ye is in practice. Take it as that. That's why I say you have to be grateful. I have heard a lot of there are memes that go around, like on social media, posts that are created, and sayings that have been created over years, that sometimes you may prepare a man to go to somebody else. It's unfortunate because people do not understand the spiritual journey that has to do with that. But people are going to debate. People that are not aware and awake and people that are hurt too are not going to accept those things. And people that have not understood how the search for love happens. We sometimes go through those things. We feel as though we prepared this person, so they owe us. They don't owe us anything. Matter of fact, you have to be grateful, because now they're going to push you to where you need to be, whether it's self-love, whether it's forgiveness. There was something that person came to do. Hold on one second, guys. Okay. Oh, snap. I didn't put my phone on do not disturb. It's gonna probably ring. All right. So yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I lost. Okay, the call is coming in. Let me see. Yeah. All right, and once they start calling, they don't stop. It's my daughter's school. I know that, they're just announcements. So when they call like that, it's just announcements. But anyway, guys, so And you know, you'll get disturbed because I was in my flow. I was really getting vivid messages. And because the low lying energies and spirits, they don't want you to relay that information to the people that need it. So you may be disturbed. Your thoughts may be um, you can be thrown off track. Like now I'm kind of like forgetting what I was gonna say, what I was getting is kind of like being disturbed. So yeah, so things like that. When you see that you're in the flow, and you know, you will get disturbances like that because they don't want the truth to come out. Okay, but let me tell you something. Yeah, now I don't even remember what I was gonna say, but I had so much to say. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, okay. Let's go. Let's move along. Okay. And it's funny because we have creative juices in the reverse. So my juices were overflowing, you know, but now I kind of forgot. So something here, like I say, something is now getting off the ground. They are they probably try to have a business together and maybe even announced it, but it's not getting off the ground. Their creative juices are stagnant. They are being thrown off. Okay, we have recovering and healing, and that's in the reverse. So whatever past situation that's been happening in this dynamic, they are not doing very well. If the arguments happening in the masculine situation right now, they are not recovering and they're not healing. So what this tells me, actually, okay, so I kind of remember where I was going with this. What this tells me is the divine masculine has to come out of this having learned something. So if you are happy that they're going through this stuff and they don't learn, then they're not coming to you because then the lesson has not been learned. Okay, so I was going to talk about how people talk about you know, somebody else taking care of somebody until they get a certain stage, and then they go to the next situation. Yes, that hurts a lot, but when you understand the evolution of spirit, we are all searching for one thing, which is love. God is love. So we are going to meet people who we are going to pour onto without minding or taking care of ourselves, because we have, at that point, if you don't have self-love, for example, you can help as a person, right? The next person, say you get in a relationship, you nurture this person so much that you don't have time for yourself. You don't take care of yourself. All you're doing is pouring to this self. So when they leave, right, you are so hurt by it that you don't understand why you would fix this person, and you're empty because all you had, you gave until you had nothing to give. So now you have to understand that, okay, so now they've gone to that stage because you probably had a soul contract with this person that you are going to help them. However, they came at a point when you did not love yourself. So their use in your life was for you to realize, wait a minute, I gave and I gave and I gave and I never give to myself. So that then reflects what you've been doing. And then it's now time to take you back. So pretty much what happens is they came to teach you self-love, right? And you taught them, hold on one second, let me pause this. All right, thank you so much, guys, for that. So I have put it on Do Not Disturb, so we will continue the reading. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, I told you there were announcements, so I picked up one. Sorry, it's just an announcement. I knew that. So let's carry on. It's just a disturbance, just trying to throw my thoughts off, but that's all right because we're going to go back into the flow. All right. So I was saying, what was I saying? Yeah. So okay. So I would say it's like an exchange of um lessons in that moment. So you say, okay, so the divine masculine. So for example, say it's a male and a female. A male comes in, the female takes care of the male wholeheartedly without taking care of himself, and then because this happens a lot, okay, and then the male moves on, and um, I am not saying it's right or wrong because it's just is. It is what it is, and that's what happens in this journey of love, of in the journey of love, in the quest. Let me say, in the quest of love, in you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean. So the man goes and he gets better, but what you must understand is he then goes on to do better with the next person because what you have taught them that they are capable of being a stand-up man. That was your use. I don't know why I'm going. Okay, so now I'm getting all this thing, all these thoughts. Let me tell you something. Sometimes I'm gonna tell you because it came to me and I was given to say it for a reason. So I'm gonna just say it, whether you believe in it or you don't. This sometimes we have our past soulmates in the past life. You could have even been brothers and sisters in the past life, or mother and son in the past life. So they come to you, you nurture them, but you forget to nurture yourself, and then they move on because that was your soul contract in the past life. They move on to the next woman, and now they aware of who they are and what they're capable of doing. That's why you see once this person moves on, they immediately get married. The things that you wanted were not given to you because that was the purpose for you in their life, and for you to reflect on yourself and be like, wait a minute, I gave and I gave and I gave and I never gave to myself. And now you have to go back to spirit, and you start changing, you start transforming. You're asking spirit, what is wrong with me? That hurt really starts to make you dig deeper. And then now you find love within yourself. You find self-love, you improve yourself, you go to school, you're making money, you are doing great. Even though in the 3D, in the earthly realm, you're talking about, oh, you know, you gotta do better, to make this person suffer. Look, it's not even about that. It's not that deep. When you look at it spiritually, that was their purpose. You gotta say thank you, spirit, because now I found myself, I found self-love. And guess what's gonna happen? Boom, your divine counterpart comes in, right? So that person was preparing you for that moment. No one that comes in your life is just coming to harm you, because that's an egotistical 3D thing. Because we're never taught that, we meet people from past lives. We were never, because that's something that's almost like so different. And when you tell people that we do keep coming back, they don't want to hear it, okay? Because no one wants to come to the suffering and the pain, because they don't understand why they're suffering and they're in pain until they start to understand that is for their highest good. And it doesn't make sense either to a person that's still stuck in the 3D who is not awakened. Even I never used to understand like why the suffering, until I started crying, seeing that the people that have hurt me actually taught me and pushed me to a place of higher love, okay? To a place of seeing that, look, what I thought was good for me wasn't even that good, because I had no self-worth, I had no self-respect. So these people come to push you towards your highest good, You start to love yourself. And then now you start to have compassion towards other people. You start to have compassion for yourself, compassion to the helpless, with the helpless, things that you probably never even used to think about. And your perspective starts to shift. I haven't even started reading tarot. This is crazy. 20 minutes in. Let's get moving, guys. I am so sorry. I am talking too much. All right. We have, here they come again with the shenanigans in the reverse. Then the um, comic and the divine masculine, they are okay in this moment. It says long term in the reverse. So short term, this tells me this karmic situation is a short term. Now, when we talk about long term technically is over a year. Anything over a year is considered long term. But in energy and in spiritual readings, there is no time, a timeline. Time is fluid, right? So whatever divine says, excuse me, I don't know, I can't speak. Whatever divine says is short term, then is short term. In other words, the divine masculine is probably coming in this lifetime. That's why it's short term. If it was long term, saying that this situation is long term, maybe you may meet in the next lifetime. So the divine masculine is, you're probably going to be with your divine masculine in this lifetime, okay? That's why we have short term here. I am saying probably because I am trying to see at what short term is, because I know that some divine masculines have gone for years, okay? So that's why I'm saying short term is talking about this lifetime. They may come when you guys are really like old age. It doesn't necessarily mean that's for everybody. Some are going to be still young. You may still be able to have children if you want children with your divine counterpart. But just know that whatever Spirit says, he says, and I'm just going to speak it like it is. So they may come in this lifetime. As to exactly when, I can't tell you because I have not clarified this, but that's what I'm getting. Your new home, first time home buyer, investment property. So divine masculine may have bought a home. Maybe that was his first time buying a home or even an investment property, or he is in the business of buying homes. And if you never owned a home, he's probably going to have a home for the very first time. And another thing too is, I don't know, for whatever reason, he may have been homeless, and now he is getting into a new place, new apartment, new home. And you know, in the journey, when you're going through this journey, you go through trials and tribulations, and homelessness can, not all the time, but it can be one of those things that may happen. So I feel as though there is a divine masculine here that may have been homeless and is now getting to a place where he is getting a home of his own. And sometimes that puts us in a place of humbleness, okay, where you will now be able to actually keep a home. Maybe you were not able to really take care of yourself financially and in other ways, self-care, and you know, being in that situation of not having a shelter or a roof over your head. That probably taught them how to be more stable. You get it? So it sometimes it's not only a person that's stopping this connection from moving forward between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Sometimes the divine masculine could be going through homelessness, okay? And they don't even tell you about that because they are trying to grow as an individual, because maybe they have already woke up. We're not only talking about one that's not awake. We could be talking about one that is awake and going through the dark night of the soul, and they know now that this is a spiritual journey, and these are trials and tribulations that come for their stability, for their manhood, for being a stand-up man that is going to be able to provide for whatever spirit will give them. If they want looking for a wife, if they prayed for a wife, but they were not a good steward of their finances, this homelessness may have brought them to their knees, where they have said, spirit, I do want a wife, but spirit is like, okay, but you cannot even take care of yourself. You cannot even take care of a home. You are drinking too much. You are drugging. You are doing all sorts of things. You have to settle down. You are seeing Betty and Rachel over there and Sharon. You're doing too much. So I am going to put you on your knees, and you are going to have to restructure your life so you have stability, and I will give you the wife, because I don't want to bring the divine feminine when you're not in a place of self-care, of self-respect, of self-worth, because all you're going to do is hurt my child, my divine feminine. I have a divine feminine for you, but you got to get yourself together. All right. We have a fly out in the reverse. Okay. So I don't think the divine masculine is really going anywhere in terms of, if he's moving into a new home, he's probably staying within the area he's in. So if you're long distance, for now, he is probably going to be staying where he is until it's time. Then maybe you guys will figure out the rest of it. But for now, he is probably going to be moving maybe close to his area where he is now. And listen, yeah, and there's all it's saying is there is no movement right now with the divine masculine spirit. Let's get to tarot. Like and subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. Spirit, what can you tell me about the divine masculine right now? Thank you, Spirit. Give me 10 cards. So we have Justice in the reverse. We have Fell Out the Hermit. We have 2 of Swords. We have 9 of Wands that wanted to come out. We have 3 of Swords. There's a card that jumped out. 10 of Wands. We have 2 of Wands. Okay, that jumped out. Okay, we have the Hierophant. All right, so let me see here. Let me have 2 more cards. Okay, this came out like that. That's good. I'm gonna take them. And we have the 6 of Cups in the reverse. All right. All right, so let me see here. Okay, so what this is telling me, let me put this camera close so you can see. All right, so we have the Justice in the reverse. Okay. We have the Hermit in the upright, 2 of Swords. In the reverse, we have 9 of Wands. We have 3 of Swords, 10 of Wands, 2 of Wands, the Hierophant, Page of Cups, Ace of Cups. So we have all the signs really. Let me see. Looks like we have more fire. So Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, we have a lot of water. So water and fire, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. And then we have pretty much all the signs, guys. Okay, we have Earth here with, and then we have Swords. And then we have Libra with the Justice. And we have Aquarius with the Swords. Okay, all right. So what this is telling me is the divine masculine feels as though he is not in a place of balance. Even though he is comfortable in the place where he is, he feels like whatever is going on, they will overcome it. Whatever is going on in his life, he will overcome it. Whether it's homelessness or whether it's in his new property with his comic, or with his person, they feel like it will be worked out. However, we do see justice in the reverse, which means it's not a balanced situation. He goes within in the hermit, and he goes in and he reflects at the areas that needs fixing, and all he is doing is always working. Okay, he is always working constantly. We say marriage is work, but I honestly believe that when it's divinely guided, that work should not be killing you. Okay, I truly wholly believe that the reason people think there's a lot of work in marriage and they're not happy and they're constantly trying to look for happiness is because there's a lot of negative energy, or karmic energy rather, or devil energy that was not resolved. It's normally a karmic connection. When it's divinely guided, there is peace, there is harmony, there is love. The disagreements, and check this out, I did not say arguments, I say disagreements. The disagreements that you would have with a divine connection is not going to be toxic, because you have already healed those parts of you. You know how to communicate with each other without your feelings being hurt. I did not say without hurting the other person's feelings, because you cannot control what the other person feels. You can only control yourself, right? So because you have healed that part of you, you are not going to take things personally, but you're going to come to a place of love, and you're going to communicate with love and share your peace without the intention of hurting the other person, right? Because that's all karmic stuff that you dealt with when you were still a karmic. But when you've moved and transformed into a higher love, you are coming to the table. Oh my God, I want to cry. I don't know why. Maybe somebody's crying. Oh God, I'm sorry, guys. Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry. I am so sorry, guys. Okay. So I feel as though there is a comic that is making this divine masculine really work, because he goes in the hermit mode to look at what is really happening with this connection without understanding the spiritual part and the lessons that he needs to learn. This situation may be so toxic, because then that's when I started crying when I talked about toxicity and higher love. He really wants the higher love, but he is not in the place for higher love. Okay? He made a decision, and he made a commitment with the Two of Swords and made a decision, okay, in the Two of Swords, that he is here to stay. He is loyal, okay? This tells you when he comes, that's one of the great things that he's already figured out. If the karmic leaves, or if he ends up leaving this karmic situation, know that the divine masculine knows how to be loyal, okay? So that's the one thing he is doing, but he is working extremely hard at this, okay? While we have, even though he is working hard at it, he is a wounded soul right now with the Nine of Wands here. He is a wounded warrior. He is fighting, but he is wounded. He is in pain. Do you see how he's looking? He is probably scared of the karmic, because maybe the karmic comes in and just wreaks havoc and just doing I don't know why I'm hearing demeaning things, name calling, low-lying stuff. That because the divine masculine, maybe this divine masculine right now, oh my God, now I'm hearing other things, because there was something I was talking about yesterday that just brought me back to that place. Let me tell you something. When the divine masculine, when he's moving towards being his divine self, There are things that he is going to think is out of love, but he is forgetting to self-preserve because he does not understand self-love. He still sees it as being selfish for him to love himself. Now that's opposite of what the divine feminine is at right now. The divine feminine is in the mode of self-love because she has understood self-love. So that self-love kind of like helps because it kind of makes him want to give, because when you are in self-love mode, you are helping him, even though he has not found self-love. That love that you are sharing because you are twins, right? He is giving it to that person. I don't know if I'm making sense. So there is love there. He is feeling the love, but he is not putting it in the right space because he is not in the right place. He understands what love is, but he has none for himself. So he is giving and giving in this situation and being hurt in this situation. Maybe with this third party energy here, there is a lot that I can say about this, but I was going to talk about the Nine of Wands one more time about the passive aggressiveness. So when the divine masculine is on the way to being a divine masculine, they could have this thing where they are saying, you know what, as long as my other half is happy, I'm happy. He is not caring about himself. So he gets wounded, he gets up. He just gets walked all over, and he just takes it. He just takes it because remember, he's loyal. He made a decision and he's here to stay. So that's what he's going to be doing. So that is already a given once he comes. But there are still other lessons that he needs to learn. Okay, so we still have here the Three of Swords. Okay, so he's heartbroken. Maybe the karmic has been cheating, or not cheating necessarily, but there could have been some heartbreaks, or even cheating, because I got that, so I'm gonna have to say it. Maybe there was a third party energy. It doesn't necessarily mean that there was like intimate involvement. It could be emotional. We have these work husbands, we have these work wives, we have friends of the opposite sex, and maybe the karmic gives more attention to other people than what she gives to your divine masculine. So he is heartbroken about a certain third party situation, and it could also be that the divine masculine is torn because he knows that there is somebody that loves him more than what he's getting. And sometimes he probably sees that he deserves love, but it's just not coming from the karmic. That's why he goes within to say, look, I need justice. I need this to be balanced out. But it's just not happening because it's not the right place that the divine masculine is supposed to be giving this entire higher love, right? So this is heartbreaking. This is heartbreaking for the divine masculine because it's not working out. It's not getting off the ground like we talked about, okay? We have the 10 of Wands here in the reverse, okay? So what this tells me is he doesn't feel like it's a burden. He doesn't feel like it's a burden because, again, he believes that he has to continue to work hard at it because maybe he feels as though he is not putting enough effort. So maybe if we do this, if we do that, and that's great because what it means is he is willing to do whatever it takes so that if anything happens, he can say, I did all I could. Maybe that's the lesson he needs. So that when he comes forward to the divine feminine, he is going to stay and he's going to take some of. All right, guys, I'm going to continue. For some reason, just as while I was looking at the camera, it stopped and it say something. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, we're gonna continue. I guess it can just go like 40 minutes at a time. I don't know. The file said it was big. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Um, but again, it's little things like this. These little disturbances, they are not for no reason. Okay, they are very significant. So you need to understand when you are being disturbed in your thoughts, especially spiritual downloads. There is a reason for that. They don't want you to know the truth. But okay, whatever. So we're gonna move forward. We're talking about the Ten of Wands when I got disconnected. Um, and lucky enough, this time I did not speak for long. I actually saw that happen. Okay, so the Ten of Wands, again, I was saying this situation with the karmic is not burdening the divine masculine because he has understood the concept of staying in a situation on working out, no matter how hurt you are, resolve conflicts, no matter how heartbreaking, but there is no justice, it's not balanced, and it feels as though he can wait until this gets better. So he is waiting for it to get better. He is waiting that things, maybe with time, that it gets better. So he is waiting for a breakthrough, okay? That this will probably be blessed because we have the Hierophant here. The Hierophant is a father figure. So this is someone who is going to do whatever it takes to make sure that his family stays intact, and maybe he also goes for counseling, maybe to church members, and they give him counsel. It doesn't necessarily mean that he is getting the best counsel, but he probably consults people that he probably respects, even his father, if he has a father in his life, or a father figure, or people that he respects, elderly of the church, or even brothers or friends, and he consults them, and they are probably gung-ho in certain beliefs as well. So the kind of advice and counsel that they give the divine masculine is going to be aligned with his beliefs. So that is going to take him time to get out of this situation too, because he has to stay with those beliefs until spirit says it's time to go, time to wake up. Then maybe we'll see some change and some movement. But for now, the divine masculine is also getting support and reinforcement in the beliefs that he already has. So that's why he is in this place where he is. So it's not only just about the karmic, but also about the society around him that wants to see this succeed and work out. Okay, so he has the support that he needs, and he is staying in this place so he can, because he truly believes that, with intervention from other people. But we must remember that these are men too. Okay, I'm not saying men as in the gender, but men as in humans. So, they're not always right, because if you are getting guidance from someone that is not spiritually awake, and that have held on to a system that is very 3D, your results are also going to be very 3D, okay? Because we're not going in the spirit. How many times, if I can ask, how many times have you broke into a spiritual session, or while you are counseling, or while you are with another person, unless it's an agreement? Because then I have seen couples that go to real spiritual places and they get into prayer. Actually, there are retreats. I've seen a retreat where couples go and they do like prayer sessions, and they meditate and all that other stuff. So if it's that kind of thing is happening, then that's awesome. But if it's just a thing of going to an elderly council, and they be like, you gotta stay, God does not like divorce, blah 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 blah, like everything is so strict and rigid and put in a box, then yeah, that is not the counsel that spirit is giving, because you did not even consult him as to if this is even the right situation. Maybe, you know, sometimes we find a person for ourselves, within ourselves, and with our ego, maybe because they look nice. And then when stuff start happening, then we start going to God. How is he going to fix it if it's not meant for you? You're in the wrong place. You understand? I don't know if I'm making sense, but that's how I feel about this comic situation. I feel like spirit was probably involved here and there, but not all decisions were um, involved. Spirit was involved all the time, okay, on both parties. Because also another thing too, just because you are going to consult somebody and um, they don't know what they're talking about, they're just gonna tell you what they've heard, okay, but it's not coming from spirit. They just want to help. Maybe it's not that they're coming in with the wrong intentions. They want to help, but they don't want to help by splitting people. They don't want to help by giving them negative advice. So they're just going to give them the standard version of watered down maybe word that they heard from somebody else, or that they grew up hearing, that, oh, you know, it's hard, but you know, you can do it. The same old same, right? But nobody actually says go and pray and fast and meditate and, you know, work on yourselves separately and, you know, together, those kind of things, like real intense gung-ho work. But sometimes that requires doing it separately. But when people get together too, they may have a codependency situation, because we have the justice here in the reverse. So that means that what this tells me is that this could be a codependency situation. We don't have any independent card here. So we could be dealing with somebody that's probably even immature, with the Page of Cups here, just giving the very bare minimum, breadcrumbing. We have cynical and closed off, and we have breadcrumb right at the bottom. So they're giving here, you know, a little bit here and there, you know, sometimes they're in it, sometimes they're not, you know, they're not giving their whole inch to the situation. So maybe the comic is offering just a little bit of love here and there, but there is no emotion, real emotion that is consistent, okay, that shows that they're really willing to give it their all. However, it shows that the Ace of Cups here, there could be that maybe they are going to work on this, and it's actually going to work out. So it's a new start. It's a new start for the divine masculine. So the divine masculine and the comic may actually get to this point, but we don't know what's going to happen after this point, because this was the last card in this spread. So we're going to see what's going to happen after the Ace of Cups, when both people have reached their emotional maturity. Is this going to move further along, or is it time to move on? Are the scales going to balance? What is going to happen after this? So I am going to, I never really do extended, and I really don't feel like doing an extended. So let's clarify something. Let's get some advice from spirit. I'll probably do an extended. I'm gonna start doing extended. So I'm gonna do an extended and see what's gonna happen after the Ace of Cups. When they both reach emotional maturity, is this going to continue to play along, or is it going to be a separate ways thing? So look out for the extended, and I'm gonna put a link in below, because the video is getting too long, and I'm gonna do an extended. All right, spirit, what advice can you give me for the divine masculine, or for whoever is watching for the divine masculine? Unavailable. Unavailable is in the reverse. This person is unable to give all you deserve. Okay, so again, this may be talking to that person that I was talking about, that they could be available. Doesn't necessarily mean that they were the comic. They could be going through a situation of not dark night of the soul. They're going through some trials and tribulations. They fell and they're getting up, falling and getting up and just trying to be better. So that's what unavailable could be in the reverse. So they may be available and not in a situation with anybody, but they are going through their own thing. Vulnerability. Okay, you can be completely open with this person. Okay, so if you're, for those that are in touch with the divine masculine, you can completely be vulnerable with them. Okay, they're not going to judge you because you know, they're probably open with you to talk about anything. We have friendship in the reverse. Okay, this friendship is leading to more. So this is really for the divine masculine that is in a karmic situation, or where there is no contact at all. So there is no contact in this situation. So I wouldn't expect a friendship at this time. Okay, and sometimes I feel as though, how can you really be friends when you are in this dynamic of twin flame journey? I have heard that you cannot really be friends with your twin flame. I don't know how far true it is, but the way and I heard something very recently that I never heard, that you could be enemies with your twin flame in this lifetime. You could be friends or you could be enemies, which is weird. I feel as though it could be resentment, not that you hate each other, but it's resentment in the sense of almost unrequited love because of not understanding the connection. People feel as though you are trying to push beliefs, whether this is for divine feminine or divine masculine. People may feel as though you are trying to push your beliefs or what you're believing in on the other person, and the other person is resisting. That's why we have the runner chaser dynamic, which sounds as though love and hate. Okay, that's why we have friendship in the reverse here. It's because that when it's not balanced, it's not it feels as though there is a love and hate situation, but it's only because it's not balanced. So hate would be a strong word, but it's just so unbalanced. And then we also have that justice card, which also tells me that even in this karmic relationship that they have, the divine masculine may feel like there is love, but maybe they are not friends. Have you ever been with someone for the procedure? I don't know why I say that, but okay. There are people that will get into a marriage because they just want to be married. But there is no love, there's no friendship. Okay? There is no connection. There is no attractiveness. But they want marriage so badly that they end up just being with anybody. And that's why they are working so hard, because there is no anything else except for the title of marriage. Whether it's a business transaction, they did it for the money or whatever. And especially, let me tell you something, and especially because that's why it's called karma, and that's why it's called a karmic debt. Because especially if you go in a situation seeking with an ulterior motive, right? With an ulterior motive, with seeking something that is not of spirit. So, for example, if you would go in a situation so you can get money out of it, or wealth, or even a long-term trick to trick the other person, trust me, that person has ancestors. That person has spirit. And they have the spirit of God that is going to protect. That's going to protect them, and that is also going to protect you. And it will fall apart because the intentions were not good from the beginning. And there are lessons that would also be learned in that situation. All right, let me have one more card, Spirit, and then we're going to close this. Different pages. See, you and this person don't share the same vision. So that's what I'm saying. So sometimes you are probably spiritual and this person is religious, okay? Or it's talking about how you and the karmic are so different. But the divine masculine wants the karmic to be like you, but there is none like you. There is only one of you, and that's the divine feminine for this divine masculine. So a lot of people are on different pages. The divine counterparts and the karmic. The karmic is also on a different page of their life because they are still dealing with a lot of baggage and a lot of karma. The divine masculine is moving towards his highest good, his higher love, and the divine feminine is almost there. But there is still work to be done. Everybody as individuals, all of the people in this reading as individuals, balance. Okay? Balance is the card at the bottom. Again, balance is needed with justice in reverse. One person is giving too much in this relationship, confirming everything that I just spoke about, that there is not an equal give and take in this karmic situation that the divine masculine is in. He is trying so hard to find balance. He wants it to work out so badly, okay? Let me see. Let me see what else I can find for the divine masculine. I'm going to do this angel answers. Spirit, what can you tell me about the divine masculine? Or for whoever is watching. That was in the reverse. Let me make sure these cards are all facing the same way. It doesn't look like they are. What happened here? There we go. All right, so let's see. Spirit, give me 3 cards. I still have some cards in the reverse. All right. Give me 3 cards, Spirit. We have peaceful resolution in the reverse. So there is not going to be a peaceful resolution. This karmic situation is not going to ever really be peaceful in the end. And it's going to end terribly, maybe, because peaceful resolution is in the reverse. It's not going to be like how the divine masculine wants it, because it is not a divinely guided union, right? Don't stop. Don't stop in the reverse. What does that mean? It means stop. So they're going to stop. Once he is tired, he is going to stop. Divine masculine. The situation will improve. Once he stops, he figures out there is nothing he can do. The tower keeps falling. He is then going to stop, and then the situation is going to improve. He's probably going to be alone, single, and eventually will do what it has to do, but it says the situation will improve. Okay, let's see here. Let me have a keeper. With the keeper here, Spirit, give me 3 cards for the divine masculine. Whatever is going on with the divine masculine, what is the outcome of this? Occupation. I say the outcome, right? So there's no work that's going to proceed from here. Once they don't find resolution, he's going to stop working on this. With the occupation in the reverse, death is going to come to an end. It's going to come to an end. It's a death of a situation. Courthouse in the reverse. Why is the courthouse here, Spirit, in the reverse? Privileged lady. What I just heard was, okay, they're going to go to the courthouse. If it was positive, it would have been upright, but it's a karmic situation. It's a tower that's going to hit. They're going to end up in the courthouse. This is a divorce. This is losing. to a privileged lady. Or maybe she will become a privileged lady because of alimony or because of the benefits that she will get as a result of this dissolution. Courthouse, look at this. Not working on it. Occupation in the reverse. They stop working on it. It dies. They end up divorced in the courthouse with the courthouse in the reverse. And we have a privileged lady at the end of it. So she is going to walk out, maybe with her head held high. Maybe she's going to, all right, look at this. When I look at this card, I don't know if you can see, her face looks smug. Her face looks smug. And I feel as though she feels a sense of entitlement. So by the time this thing ends, it's going to be so ugly. But she'll probably be very, still maybe in a comic energy. Maybe this is not the end of her comic cycle. She's probably going to end up being in another cycle until she is awake. I don't think this is a divine soulmate. Like I sometimes want to believe that, the divine masculine could be with a divine soulmate. I feel as though this could be a karmic situation, and it's not going to end well. There's probably going to be a loss of assets here with the courthouse in the reverse. It's not going to go well for the divine masculine with this gentleman being in the reverse as well, and the occupation being in the reverse. It's not going to work out. So it's not going to work out for the divine masculine. He's probably going to lose financially. He's going to be devastated. You'll feel like he wants to die. Like, what other reason is there to continue? But he is going to find his strength in that. That's why you're going to have the Ace of Cups here. There is going to be a new beginning, which really, I may not do the extended, but I think that's what it is. There is going to be forward movement. They're going to find their emotional balance, but it's still not going to work out, and it's going to die, and it's going to end ugly. And emotions, they're going to be tears, okay? They're going to be tears, and it's going to end up in tears. Maybe I should call this reading, it's going to end up in tears, because we have message of concern at the bottom. Yep. Man, I tell you. All right, let me see. What else can I pull out, guys? Let's see what else we can get here for the divine masculine. This reading is getting too long. Spirit, give me 3 more cards and we're going to close out this reading. All right, we have adjustments are required. That's in the reverse. You know what? I need to make sure that this are in the upright. I guess. Okay. So adjustments are required. I don't know if it's talking about the divine masculine making some adjustments on his end, or something is going to be adjusted. Okay. We have a take time to breathe out in the reverse. In other words, don't hold your breath. Things are going to work out exactly how they're meant to. Okay. And then we have nothing is yet set in stone, but it's in the reverse. So that tells me that it has been set in stone. All right, my loves. I want you to know that I do love you, and please like and subscribe. Let me do this fortune cookies, and I'm gonna finish this reading. Fortune cookies. What can you tell us? What you got? All right, let's see. Spirit. Okay, that wanted to come out. Personal riches in the reverse. In the upright, you say small successes are likely now and bigger ones are on the way. Finances could improve dramatically, but avoid get-rich schemes. Okay, so this was in the reverse. What this tells me is personal riches are not working out for the divine masculine right now. So even though he's in this situation, that's why he is so off his kilter. Like he is not in a good place because whatever he's trying to work on is not working. Okay, even with occupation here, maybe there may even be a loss of an income. Um, and he's probably overspending, probably trying to impress the comic, doing purchases that he has no business in, and they may try to even get rich, because we have avoid get rich schemes, and this card is in the reverse. So they may try to get into some business investments that don't work out. Because remember what I said at some points in the reading, I said if you're not in the right place, it's not, sometimes spirit is not going to help you succeed in that endeavor until you get with the right place. And did you hear what I said? Pleasant. Pleasant. Ah, I should make up the word. Pleasant. I was going to say place and person at the same time. Amazing. All right. So let me see. Let me make sure these cards are in the right, all facing the same way, and then I'm going to pull out another card. All right, now they're facing the same way. Spirit, give me 2 more cards. Give me 2 more cards, Spirit. What else can you tell? I'll take them. All right, opportunities. All right, so opportunities. An important offer will be made, and be prepared and dressed to impress. Okay, so the divine masculine is being told that there are opportunities. Okay, opportunities will definitely be presented. Absolutely, they're going to come. But the question is, are you going to be able to keep them with the personal riches in the reverse? Are you going to be wise with your with these opportunities? Right? We have burnout. Your hard work will see results, but your health needs to be maintained. So check in with your doctor, dentist, and a health professional. Try to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So again, with the occupation here, we already saw that, and the wounded warrior here, we already saw that the divine masculine is overextending himself. And that's, we have burnout. So he's probably going to be burned out, giving too much consistently. He is not looking at it as a burden because he is willing. If you go back to what I was saying, he continues to overextend himself, but a burnout is going to happen. And it's going to probably end up with him being feeling unwell. Yeah. I don't want to say that the coffin may represent that death of a person. I don't see that, but I hope that this burnout is also not somebody burning their home, that new home that we talked about. Because if it's so much drama, anything can happen. And because I don't like how she is looking smug with the house in the back there, like she gonna burn that property or something. Well, we know what will happen to that if that happens like that, which I hope it never does. Spirit, now people are so crazy. This karmic energies, let me tell you something, they can get so toxic. Oh my God, Spirit. All right, you don't want me to say that? It's true though. Let me have one more card. Let me have 2 of these cards, Spirit. Now I'm gonna close, I promise. All right. Yeah, healing family issues. Again, we already saw that he is healing family issues. Okay, he is working on it hard, and he's not letting go. And playfulness. Okay, to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So he is probably trying to be playful because remember we had a friendship in the reverse over here. They don't have a true friendship. They don't know how to play with each other, and you know, the other person being so mean and petty, they're probably not as playful because they see this as business. If it was a business transaction, like I was saying, if somebody came into the situation with ulterior motives, they're not going to be intentional on wanting to, you know, work on the things that really need to be worked out on: friendship, playfulness, being in love, dating, loving each other, communicating effectively, and being intentional in consistency. And, you know, entertaining third party energies, emotional aloofness, all those things are things that are affecting the divine masculine at this time. Guys, like, subscribe. I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching. And I will see you in the next reading. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Have a great weekend. Well, holiday, I guess.